Hunt for Greatness podcast.
All right.
Evan Jacobs, you guys, welcome to the Hunt for Greatness podcast. And I got my man Evan Jacobs on. What is up, Evan Jacobs?
What's up, man? How's it going?
How are you, dude?
I'm awesome, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, dude, I'm so stoked you came on the podcast. Seventh Evan Fishing. That's your YouTube channel.
Yep, that's it.
Seventh Evan. Come get closer to that mic so I can hear you a little better. There you go. Yeah, dude, so I met you at Jimmy's at Riceville Beach.
Good old Jimmy's. I love Jimmy's, man. Jimmy's at Red Dogs, always a good time.
Yeah, have you been going there for a long time?
I mean, yeah, I started going once I turned 21.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
25? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're young. You're a youngin'. Holler back, youngin'. Woo woo.
Yep.
So, you saw me do a ridiculous comedy set, and you still came over to my house to do this podcast, which is cool.
Don't say that, man. It was awesome.
It was ridiculous.
I loved it.
That place is wild, bro. Like,
Yep.
you can do some jokes in there that you can't do anywhere else. And
Yeah.
you can't do your regular jokes in there that you do everywhere else. That's the way it works.
Yep.
So, I'm doing Jimmy's at the end of the month, and I'm dressing up like a cowboy, like head to toe like a cowboy, and I'm bringing an air horn, and I'm going to buy a 6-pack of beers to throw out to the audience.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. I'll be there.
I'm turning up. I'll throw you a beer, dude. I'll throw you a
Appreciate it,
beer,
man.
dude. I can't remember the date that I'm doing that, but we'll start off. You guys need to go over to 7th Evan Fishing, correct?
Correct.
Okay, 7th
Thank you.
Evan Fishing, and you guys need to go check his content out. He does kayak fishing and films it, and there's some great videos on there. We'll talk about a couple of them later, but you guys need to go head over there. We'll link his channel in the description. It'll be real easy. You click right under the video, and you're going to see 7th Evan Fishing, and that's my man right here. So we're going to send y'all on over there to check out some of those videos, but come back and listen to our interview when you're done. What made you start doing YouTube fishing videos?
Mainly, man, I just had the idea that I just wanted to, start editing like all the footage, and for the most part, just have something to like look back on. Like, the more I like advance with fishing, and the better I get. I just want to be like one of those things where I could like look back on videos and kind of just like laugh at myself and like watch myself grow for the most part. And just for like a platform to always have like those memories there, I guess. And just to like see like what other people in the area think. And I've also like already met like a lot of cool people through it, more than I can keep up with already.
Yeah, that's cool, because I
So-
probably wouldn't have met you or talked
Yeah,
to you at
man.
Jimmy's if Eric didn't recognize your voice.
Yeah, that was hilarious, man. Yeah, we had like the same reaction at the same time. I was like, "Is that Eric?" And then like he looks over and he's like, "Is that Evan?"
That's
like
so
same
crazy.
exact time.
That's so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Eric actually introduced us, so that's
Yeah.
cool. Like, that's awesome. And I told him you were going to come on the podcast. He was stoked. Me and him just did a couple of podcasts together, man. We had a good time talking about Atlantic Bonito and Spanish mackerel and albies, like just talking about getting ready for those fish to come through, because it's almost time, dude.
Oh yeah.
It's almost Atlantic Bonito time.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be out there in the kayak. You'll probably whiz past me one day or another.
Dude, you are insane, first of all, to take
Yeah.
that kayak in the ocean. I tell Elias that all the time. I'm like, bro, you are insane. So the first time you ever went in the ocean in your kayak, do you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Can you
yeah.
tell me about that?
So I don't recommend doing this. I went totally alone.
Oh, you went by yourself?
I did. I went by
Oh.
myself, but I went on like the calmest, flattest day of like that month that like I could pick, and like sure enough, it worked out. I launched off of Oak Island, and I hit Yopon Reef or Yupon, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, Yopon, yeah.
For the most part, it worked out. I didn't really get anything crazy that day. I just got like whiting and like gray trout, just like stuff like that. I didn't get anything like really cool, like sheep's head or like big drum. But I mean, it worked out. I was really nervous about coming back in because, like, when you come back in, your back's to the waves and you have to like time
Dude.
it right paddling.
Dude.
It's crazy, man. I didn't think about that until, like, I got out in the ocean. I was like, I'm actually more scared of coming back in. Like, I thought, like, the launch was going to be the worst part, but I was like, oh, man, I got to come back in now.
Yeah, you can't see the waves behind. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
be. So, how does that even work, dude? Like,
I kinda-
first of all, how do you do the launch? and then we'll talk about the return.
Well, okay, so I take the drive out. I just kind of like put the drive. I kind of like
Pedal drive.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're on a pedal drive kayak.
Yeah.
I don't know much about kayaks. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I got a Hobie, so Hobie Outback. It's just an older one. It's a 2010 one, but yeah, I mean, it gets the job done. I love it, and so I make sure the drive is out, and I make sure like all my stuff is like tied down, like crate, rods, and all that. Like I try to make sure. Oh, especially cameras too. I try to make sure those are tied down, especially the bow cam, because like the bow cam can like knock side to side from like waves and stuff. But yeah, so make sure everything's tied down. Put like all like essentials like phone, keys, wallet in like a little dry bag. You know, make sure like nothing can get like super soaked. Like even if I did flip the kayak, because like the dry bags can float. So like I wouldn't, and I like tie that down too, so I wouldn't like lose anything, except for like, you know, like a net and like bump board and small stuff like that.
Replaceable stuff.
Yeah, like easy, like cheap stuff. And basically you drag the kayak out to the water. You get like shin height, or I mean, depending on the water temperature. Like now I wouldn't go up to my knees, but like, you know, warmer months you go up to your knees, and you just kind of time it right, and you just drag your kayak as far as you can, and you just kind of in like one swift motion, you just jump in and start paddling.
Oh God, this sounds crazy, dude.
It's quite a rush, man. I actually love it.
Really?
Yeah, because you're like freaked out for like a few seconds, but then like you get past the breakers and you're like, that was so much fun.
God, that's insane, dude. So the first time you did it, you were scared, probably, right?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure every time it's a little scary, you know. I
was a little scared, but because I went on like such a calm day, I kind of knew I wasn't gonna screw it up. Like there were maybe like 1.5 foot waves at like 9 seconds, so like that's like
good.
That's like nothing for like the hardcore guys. But yeah, I mean it worked out. I was I had a blast doing it. You know. So
coming back in, that first time you ever went out in the ocean, what was that like coming back in?
Coming back in, well, thank God I didn't have an audience, because that oh man, that would have destroyed me. But yeah, I came back in. I'd say you don't really start like turning around until like the last like 100 yards, I guess, because like you have to figure out like where the waves start breaking, because you can't really tell until like you get close enough to the beach to like really see like the top of the wave start breaking. But yeah, in that instance, then you just have to figure out like okay, like how fast like are the waves like coming to like the beach, and like how much time do I have to take the drive out and, you know, paddle and land and all that good stuff. So, but yeah.
When do you take the drive out?
I take the drive out probably like the last like 100 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the drive sticks down underneath your kayak about a foot?
Yeah. Not probably like 9 inches.
Okay, so like close to a foot.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So the last 100 feet, you pop the drive out, and then are you
pop the drive out? Make sure the rudder's up. Make sure the fish finder. I have a little like side transducer mount. I make sure that's up. You know, obviously make sure everything's already tied down, and then just paddle for dear life.
Oh my God, dude. This sounds so stressful to me. It's like making my palms sweat over here thinking about this, dude.
It's like, I'd say like the first few seconds is the most stressful, but then like the closer you get to the beach, I guess the less stressful it is, because you're like, okay, like if I flip here, like I'll be able to flip the kayak back over and not like lose all my stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But
so how long have you been kayak fishing?
I've been kayak fishing for 2.5 years.
So you haven't been kayak fishing that long?
No, I've been fishing in general that long. I started kayak fishing right when I started fishing. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you'd never fished before that, really? Before your kayak?
Well, I got my first rod and reel. I did like a little like pier fishing and like dock fishing. Didn't really like it as much. I wanted to like move around, but I was like, okay, well I can't really like afford a boat, so like what are my options? And I started looking at kayaks, and I was like, this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
No gas.
I dove. Yeah, no gas. Oh, dude, especially right now. Yeah, it's probably like one of the best parts.
Yeah, gas is high right now, dude.
Yeah.
So no gas. Those pedal drives, there can be issues with those, and they're pretty expensive as well.
Yeah,
have you ever had an issue with your kayak or pedal drive before?
Yeah, I have. It was kind of my fault though. I kind of hit like an oyster bed.
Okay.
And so like when that happens, there's like a metal shaft in like the Hobie drives. If you hit like the oyster bed too hard, it can like bend the shaft and it could like rip out of the fin or whatever. And so I had to do some like on the water maintenance to the drive. I had to like take the fin out and like there's like a split ring too, so I was like fiddling with that. So you got to take the split ring out, take a little pin out, take the fin out, and then you have to like bend like the shaft like back a little bit and then like put the fin back in, and it's a hassle, but it was kind of my fault.
Oh, that's crazy. So you were able to bend it back and get back to the dock.
Yeah, thank God. Otherwise, I would have been paddling. But I mean, like either way, I sort of had a way to get home. It was just pedaling is obviously better. So
yeah, for sure. So you like the Hobie pedal drive?
I love them, man.
You're able to really
changer,
fish
yeah.
like with the pedal drive, right? You're not worrying about paddling a lot. You can.
No, I mean I always have a paddle just in case, but for the most part, that's just for like launching and coming back in.
Oh yeah, because you would use that without you wouldn't have your drive in, so you need your paddle. Yeah, I don't know anything about this, dude. Like, this is insane to me. So you have only been fishing for about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, so I started, I started 2 or 3 summers ago. I'm losing track of time, man.
So COVID hit, and you were like, I'm a fish. Because that was about
it was
3.
Before COVID.
It was right before, because this shit's been going on for like 3 years, dude. It seems
it's hard
like.
to believe, man.
Well, now Russia's like wanting to bomb people, and now the pandemic's over. So,
yeah.
I mean, nobody's wearing masks anymore. Nobody cares that much anymore about. It seems like you don't even hear about COVID anymore that much.
Oh yeah, it's clearing up in Wilmington. I feel like it's. I don't know. I feel like it's more like taboo to wear a mask than to not wear a mask now. You know.
Yeah. So you're lucky because you started fishing and you got your kayak before everything shut down.
Yeah. And then I also remember Riceville Beach had like a ban on like motorized craft in like the waterways for like a little bit.
Oh, I was pissed,
like,
bro.
I was like, doesn't
pissed.
apply to me, man.
Yeah. I was so mad. I'm like, dude, they closed the boat ramp, dude.
Yeah.
So like kayak fishermen could go out.
Yeah.
Which was probably the greatest time ever to kayak fish because it was like an apocalypse out there probably.
It was awesome, man.
Like nobody out there, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so interesting. You've only been fishing for 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, I got so into it. I dove head first, and pretty much as soon as I started, I that's like what I wanted to like dedicate my off time to, was just like fishing. And still it hasn't changed, like not even a little bit. Like when I've got off time, like I'm on the water. The only thing stopping me is rain and wind.
Yeah.
That's it. So.
Man, that is awesome, dude. I was not expecting you to say that you had just started fishing not that long ago. Because I'm like, I watch your videos and I'm just like, dude, this is great. You know what I love the most about your videos? The emotion. The raw emotion, bro. Because you don't try to hide nothing.
I can't. I wouldn't even know how.
I can't either. And what I love about your answer about why you started doing YouTube videos is because I started doing them for the same reason. But it was like, when I start catching fish, I start blacking out, and I'm like, what was I even doing? Like, how did I catch this fish? Like, I go just straight up dumb, dude. So, like, when I could go back and look at my footage, I was like, oh, okay, I was jigging it like that, or I dropped it right.
What you're doing,
yeah, dude, like
it's a good strategy. Yeah, I've learned the same way. I'll like go back and watch stuff and be like, okay, like how fast was I like retrieving that lure, or like how was I working that top water, or like, you know, stuff like that. But
yeah, dude, it's such a great tool. The replay. It's kind of the instant replay because we can come to home and look at it when we're done fishing. Like, I honestly still don't know how I was jigging this thing today, this diamond jig, and caught the grouper. I don't know what I did.
That's awesome, man.
Dude, I was not expecting it to be a grouper. Literally, the thing hit. Elias looked at me and said, that's a grouper. Looked at my rod and knew what fish I had on within 5 seconds.
Man.
That dude's a wizard, bro.
Oh yeah,
that dude's a straight up wizard, dude. That's crazy. Did you meet him through YouTube as well?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, we started talking, and we've gone a couple times, and yeah, he's good, man.
He's good, dude. That dude is a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's amazing, dude. So what is your favorite type of fishing to do on the kayak? If you could do anything,
man.
perfect weather, anywhere that you've been, like what's your ideal day out there?
I guess it depends on the time of the year, but
Any time of year, you
any
pick.
time of year. Okay, then redfish, shallow water, low tide, on the kayak. That's my favorite type of fishing, man.
I don't know much about that either, dude. Like just about like low tide, you're saying, because they get trapped in their little tide pools and
Yeah.
there's not as much water for them to really be in. Is that why you like low tide?
Yeah, I just got into it because, I mean, it finally clicked. Like, okay, so the first year I fished, I had no idea what I was doing, okay? Like, if I caught a game fish, it was, like, totally on accident. And then it finally clicked, like, the summer after that. So the first summer is, like, when I started fishing. The second summer, like, a year later, that's, like, when it first, like, really started clicking for me, like, how redfish move and feed and all that jazz. But, yeah, so that summer I really got into sight casting reds in, like, shallow water. And I just thought it was the coolest thing because, like, you can see them. You can see, like, their backs out of the water sometimes. Like, big redfish. Like,
That's crazy.
slot size, sometimes over slot redfish in, like, a few inches of water. I just thought it was the coolest thing. I started doing it, and I just, like, finally, like, when I kind of started getting the technique down to, like, be able to cast, like, just at the right spot in front of them and, like, set the hook at the right time, I don't know, man. It changed the game for me. I fell in love with it.
Oh, artificials?
Artificials, yeah.
Like paddle tails, jig heads.
Paddle tails is my go-to, specifically Z-Man.
What colors you like?
What colors? So
Yeah, what's
if
your favorite?
it's like clear water, I like the smoky shad.
Smoke shad.
And-
Yeah, the gray with the blue
Yeah,
flake.
yeah.
I love that color.
Awesome, man.
Love that color.
And if it's like a darker, like murkier water, I forget what it's called, but it's got like black and gold on it.
Oh, I don't think I know that one, man. It's black. It's like a black with a gold flake.
Yeah, it's kind of rare. Like, you don't see it a lot in shops, but I ordered it like off of the Z-Man website, and it was it performed in the murkier water.
Nice. So that you use like a darker color when it's muddy water.
Yeah.
And then
sure.
do you base your jig head size on how quickly, of course, that you want it to sink, but like the depth of your water? If you're fishing shallow water redfish, like a fish that's in a foot or two of water, what size jig head are you normally using, or does it depend on current or what?
Yeah, if there's like a little bit of current, most of the time I'll throw like 1/8 of an ounce jig head, and like rig it like weedless, so like a Texas side jig head. If not that, then I'm throwing a 1/16 ounce jig head.
Okay.
Which is like kind of rare. Like, not a lot of people do that, but I found that like for the kayak, something about it, man. I don't know. It just like, especially when there's no current, it just hit the mic right there.
You're good. You're good. You still recording?
Cool. But yeah, like if it's like super calm, that's like my go-to is just like a 1/16 ounce jig head.
So as light as possible.
Light as possible, man. Yeah.
And so you see a redfish cruising out of a creek. Is that kind of how it happens? Are they usually cruising out of a creek or falling out with the tide, or how does that?
It's kind of a mix. I've honestly found a lot of the time I'll just like run into them on accident. Like, I'll like be like rounding a corner and like there's a redfish like 5 feet away.
You can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. Like, it's like practically looking at me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you ever run into big schools and see them push?
Oh yeah, that's happened to me several times. Yeah,
That's crazy.
You can see that a couple times in some of my videos. I actually, in one of my videos, one of my older ones, I like spooked like I think actually it was like 4 or 5 redfish.
Wow.
I was like cruising through this like really, really skinny creek, and it was like a few inches of water, but like they weren't moving, and so like I couldn't see them at first, and then I got closer and closer, and then I could finally tell they were redfish, but they were like coming towards me, and so like I try to like get my rod and I'm like fiddling with it. It's like tangled, of course.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah. They bump into my kayak.
Oh my God, they bump into your kayak.
Yeah, man. And then they cruise right past me, and I'm like,
Dude.
That didn't just happen.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So really skinny creek, and they're kind of trying to get past you, and they just run right into you.
Yep. Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. You can hear it. I'm pretty sure in the video too.
You can hear him hit the kayak.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. So that's your favorite type of fishing to do on the kayak.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you've been recording the whole time you've been fishing?
No, I started recording shortly after I got my Hobie, because I had a regular like paddle kayak first, and then I started realizing like also just like crazy things happen on the water.
Crazy things, dude.
Crazy, insane things, and you're like, I need to start recording this.
It's usually when the camera's off when the crazy things happen. That's
so I record 100% of the time now.
yeah. That's what I try to do that. Like I try. It was so bright. The reason I didn't get that grouper today, it was so bright when I looked at my camera. I'm like, oh, it's recording. Like I couldn't really see when the sun's up. You can't really see those GoPros like the screens on them as well. Dude. You know. Do you have yours on your head, right?
Yeah. So I've got one on my head, and then I've got one on the bow of the kayak.
So the editing process, how long does that normally take you to edit a video?
Oh, it depends, man. Normally it takes like, I don't know, roughly, let's say like average 3 to 4 hours.
Okay. On iMovie, is that what you use?
I use Premiere Pro.
How do you like that? Because I was thinking about getting that.
Premiere Pro is awesome, man. It's definitely more of a professional software, and you can, if you like subscribe to Adobe or whatever, you can get like Photoshop and like After Effects and all that good stuff too.
Yeah, that's what I want, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I signed on for Premiere Pro because I was in college and they had like a student discount, and I was like,
Sick.
oh, I'm getting that because of that. So
sick.
And that's what I edit with to this day. So.
Have you always been interested in like film? Or not really, just till you got...
I mean, kind of. I did actually go to K-Fair for film and video.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like kind of where I learned how to like edit and like basic like film skills, I guess you could say. But yeah, man, Premiere Pro is awesome. It helps with time too. You learn how to do like little tips and tricks and really, I guess, like prioritize your editing time, I guess I should say.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome.
So,
where are you from?
I'm from here.
Wilmington.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Wilmington, but
wow.
But yeah,
you don't have an accent at all.
I know,
I mean,
man.
Not really. I mean, I kind of have a hard time hearing other people's like country accents unless they're worse than mine. Like if their accent is worse than mine, I can notice it. But I don't feel like you have an accent. Are your parents from here?
Yeah. So my dad's from Leland, and yeah, my mom's
Oh
from
my
here.
God, your dad don't have an accent?
He's kind of got an accent. He's got kind of.
He's from Leland, dude.
He's gonna watch this and be like, "What is he talking about?"
I don't have an accent. What's he talking about?
Yeah.
So you're from Wilmington. You're a Wilmington native, dude.
Yeah, man, a Wilmingtonian.
Wow, you're a Wilmingtonian, dude. That's crazy, bro. Damn, you don't meet a lot of people from Wilmington. I mean,
dude, that's what everybody says.
Yeah,
so
that's
funny.
true, though. It's true. It's very true. Yeah, because I moved down here like 10 years ago, and I started fishing probably 7 years ago, like on the pier, like just flounder fishing and stuff like that. I had no clue. Still kind of don't know what I'm doing, just trying to figure it out. Like,
you know what you're doing, man.
Just trying to figure it out, you know.
Don't
It's like
cut yourself short.
It's always like I'm always learning something. Like I learned so much stuff today. Like it's absolutely insane. And I hope that my mom's not watching this, but I went 23 miles out in the skiff, dude, or like 25 miles out in the skiff, and it was so beautiful. And I saw my buddy out there on his boat, and then he looked at us and he's like, "Dude, are you really out here on a skiff?" I'm like, "Bro, we're really out here, dog." I pulled up on him like, "We really out here, dog." So it was cool, man. Like it was. It's probably not the smartest thing, you know, but neither is taking a kayak in the ocean. So you can't say nothing.
Guilty as
Evan.
charged, man. Yeah, I can't say anything.
You can't say nothing to me, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was dope. So you got So what do you think has taught you the most about fishing? Just getting out there and failing and succeeding?
Oh
and...
yeah, dude. The failing has taught me more than anything. More than my like success trips, honestly. Yeah, man. Because like that first year that I started fishing, I had no idea what I was doing, and then like finally it clicked, and like I finally like started catching on to like each species like one by one. And I was like, all right, I need to target this fish here at like this time of the year. and like do these tactics, you know, and because like the first year I was catching like pinfish, and I was like happy with that.
Yeah.
I was catching bait.
Same, dude.
Yeah.
So, what do you think made it click? Just the time spent, like the time invested in.
Yeah,
doing it?
the time, and definitely just like exploring areas. That's like my favorite thing to do is just like explore like a new area with my kayak. Just like throw the kayak like on top of my car and just like go like to like a new area that like I haven't been, and like kind of look at like what's around me, look at like what structure is like in the marsh, and just kind of fish around that.
Yeah. Are you in the marsh a lot? Is that kind of
Yeah.
your favorite place to be with the kayak?
Yeah,
What do you-
I would say.
What do you think, like, about the ocean when you're out there on the kayak? Like, what goes through your head out there?
I mean,
Are you just chilling? Like, are you
I'm kind of
just
just chilling,
Are
man.
you?
Like once I get out there, it's like I'm not really thinking like what could go wrong. I'm just thinking I'm just enjoying myself. To
Right.
be honest with you,
Right.
I'm mostly just worried about like the first like few seconds of the launch and coming back in. Like
Yeah.
I'm not really worried like once I'm out there, but yeah, like coming back in is like I'm always just like oh boy, here we go. Like
Yeah, it was making my palms sweat you talking about it, dude.
yeah.
Now, you have a video on your YouTube, and you're fishing a tournament, and you hook, and this is what made me love your YouTube channel. You hook into a redfish like within the first few minutes of the video. Like it was right after sunrise. Like it was
Oh, yeah.
from what I remember, and
Yep,
it
you're
was
exactly
like
right.
dude, it was like 27 on the dot. 27 inches. Like it
Yeah,
was a tournament winner, dude.
It was crazy close. Yeah, I was worried it was gonna be too big.
Which
'cause, like-
which they will not take.
Yeah, exactly. They would have been like, "All right, you're disqualified."
If it's if it's a hundredth of an inch over
Yeah, man.
27.
So you could probably believe like how many times I measured that thing, and I was like, I don't know, because like I pinched the tail, and it was like I still like couldn't tell because it like depended like how you pinch the tail too, because also his tail
Yeah.
was like a little cut up, so I was like, I don't know, man. Like, do I put him back or do I hold on to him? I was like, I don't know.
That's dicey in a tournament. Like if you're
Yeah.
just out there fishing
It
to
was
get a
risky, yeah.
Yeah, it's risky, dude, cuz it's like if you're just out there, that could either win you the tournament or you got no chance to win because
Yeah.
you're disqualified.
Exactly.
So you took that fish in there
Yep.
and they weighed it. Do you remember what it weighed?
It weighed like 7.14 pounds.
That's a
I
good
think.
fish,
Something
dude.
like that. Yeah.
That's a good fish. That's a great tournament fish.
Yeah, it was.
So that
was
tournament
awesome.
was just the biggest single redfish, right? Was the winner.
So they had like subdivisions. They had like the single red drum division. Then they had like two red drum
Yeah.
division for like partners on like boats and whatever. Obviously, I couldn't sign up for that, so I just did the one red drum. But yeah,
And we're not going to tell everybody what happened, but what's the name of that video? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I'll find that video and I'll put the card in here so they can click on it. But I
Appreciate it.
love that video. Eric sent me that video to watch.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he sent it to me.
Thanks, Eric.
He's like, hey, you got to watch this video. But I'll link that video, and that's a great video for you guys to go check out. Just to get to know you and the way your videos are, that's a good one to start with for me because you're fishing a tournament. When you catch that fish, dude, you freak out. Like, you're so happy. And
There
dude,
was no mask. I was
there
like,
was no mask,
I was
bro.
like, you get what you get. Like, my reaction is you get what you get. Like,
So cool. You left all that in the video. I just think
Yeah.
that's amazing. Like, you left the whole... You left parts in the video where you're, like, doubting whether or not that fish is big enough.
yeah, man.
It's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole... dude, you talk about the whole thing going through your head, which I think, for me, is the most hard part about doing videos on the water is, like, talking to your viewer, like the people
Right.
who are going to watch it. Like, not just thinking about things in your head, but saying it out loud. Elias is very good at it. You're very
Yeah.
good at it. I think that's important because people want to feel like they're there with you. Like, what is this
Right.
guy thinking, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I know.
Yeah, it just, like, helps capture the audience and just, like, I don't know, like, bring them into the video. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a good
cool.
point.
I love that video, dude.
Appreciate
It tells
it,
a
man.
story. It tells an
Yeah.
awesome story, like, at the end. I don't want to ruin the video for people, but, like, it's such a cool story from beginning to end. Like, amazing. You helped your friend,
Yeah.
you know, like, that's...
That was the best part of the whole thing was getting to contribute for that.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
for sure. Like it's an amazing video. But yeah, that's basically, I wanted to cover you being on the kayak fishing in the ocean because you're insane. And then I wanted to talk to you about
Yeah,
what you
little-
like doing the best, as far as you like sight fishing reds with artificials and skinny water, which I think is so sick on a kayak.
So much fun, man.
So sick, dude. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover, and we'll have you back on with Eric, and we'll do
Awesome, man.
Yeah, and we'll do a
Would
pod. I
love
wanted
that.
to have you on by yourself first, and then we'll have you on with Eric, and we'll talk about a certain species. Maybe we'll talk about reds because
Yeah.
I don't know much about sight fishing reds, but he's done it, and you've also done it. I just kind of try to catch them. Like I've never been able to really see them and get shots on them before.
It's hard, man. It's it's not as easy as it looks.
It looks hard to me, dude, because it looks hard. But, dude, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Dude, thanks for having me.
I really appreciate you.
I've had fun, man.
Yeah, we'll have you back on. You guys,
Awesome.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, go over to Evan's channel, 7th Evan Fishing. Subscribe. Check out some of his videos. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. If you disliked it and you're a hater, click that thumbs down button because any reaction is better than no reaction. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not. We love you guys. Thank you.
Hunt for greatness.